April brought in cold spells and frequent showers as a reminder that everything in life takes time and requires nourishment. I too have been going through many different moods and thought processes, thinking about my life and small and simple ways how I can make it better. I have been adopting a few habits and adding a few activities into my routine to make life a little bit more calm. This is what I'm going to share with you today. Endless rainfall forced me to spend more time indoors. I used to dread staying inside within my own four walls. Being an avid lover of nature and generally quite an outdoorsy person, staying indoors feels confining to me at times. I've grown more fond of cozy times within my home though. I try to identify some activities which will help me to slow down. We optimize our lives so much, bringing in automated conveniences to replace the manual, slower tasks, thus making living a rather mindless activity. Automatization is, of course, quite useful, but there is one thing for me which I choose to do manually at a slower pace, always. Coffee. Now, I am not a barista and lost all of my skills since working as one back at university, so my latte art is a little bit sad here. But still, coffee making is one thing I always allocate more time for, making each step of the way purposeful. Coffee to me isn't just a drink, but a ritual. For you, it can be tea or a hearty breakfast. I try to get up earlier to give myself ample time for this process. It's so tempting to just stay in bed for a little bit longer, then rush through your entire morning routine and step out of the door barely awake. I always prioritize a morning routine and especially the making of coffee and breakfast, as this ritual sets the rhythm and an overall mood for the rest of the day. Another slow activity that's become so healing to me is foraging. It's fascinating how much abundance there is in nature and how many plants hold many amazing qualities we know nothing about. Even if you're not going to forage, learning about nature and identifying edible, poisonous, or healing plants can become a fun and mindful activity on your next hike or a walk in the park. Especially now in spring, there is an abundance of growth everywhere, so this is the most perfect time to learn more about the world around you. I have quite a few useful and entertaining nature-focused books. The Forager's Calendar, The Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady many of you ask me about, England is a Garden, full of beautiful illustrations, and even the Little Flower Fairy books which I found in the children's section of a charity shop. Today, however, I am foraging for a plant almost everyone is familiar with. Stinging nettle. Despite its painful stinging, it's actually a plant that holds many secretly useful qualities. Be very careful picking it, as it does sting a lot. I used a regular kitchen glove to protect my hands. While I do want to encourage you to learn about plants and foraging, I have to remind you to not pick any plant that you're not sure about, as there are many poisonous ones mixed in with the edibles. Also, please be respectful and never pluck any plant out of the ground, as you may destroy its habitat, and only pick as much as you need for your own personal use. Back home again after a brief sunny spell, I am going to prepare a nettle hair rinse out of those nettles I foraged. Before I continue with the preparation process, I want to mention a few other simple, slow activities which might be obvious to you, but they still deserve a separate acknowledgement. Read a new book and deeply understand its subject. Try to analyze and think about the hidden meanings and symbolisms. Explore thrift shops and charity shops for beautiful home treasures. This is such a lovely slow activity, as it does take time to rummage and find an actual beautiful item. Care for indoor plants, water them, wipe dust off their leaves. I'm not the best indoor gardener when it comes to it, but I am happy to report that my very temperamental peace lily released a new flower and monstera has given a new baby leaf. And now back to nettle. It has been used for healing purposes for centuries. I remember in my childhood I even ate a nettle soup once. It has many properties beneficial for skin concerns and hair growth. Antihistamine, anti-inflammatory and antibacterial properties of stinging nettle aid in the treatment of acne and skin problems. It is also high in amino acids, proteins, flavonoids, iron, calcium, magnesium, potassium, and zinc. High amount of sulfur and silica are useful for improving and strengthening your hair. Taking care of yourself, your body, and health is another simple activity which many of us neglect so often. I for sure do, as I quickly brush my hair and put on the first item of clothing without thinking much about it most days. Taking time to care for yourself patiently, dressing up to enhance your mood, and putting just a little more effort into your own health is perhaps a simple activity we all need to prioritize. And lastly, forest bathing. I mentioned it before and I promise to make a separate video all about it very soon. I learned about forest bathing, a method of relaxation that originated in Japan, in October last year, when I was highly burnt out and overwhelmed, needing an escape from my everyday life. Leaving a phone and camera behind, not thinking about photographing, capturing or sharing it in any way, simply enjoying getting lost in the woods, beautiful autumnal foliage above my head. I've been practicing it ever since, finding peace amongst the trees. By now the forest is full of life, tiny bluebells scattered across the woodland floor, a canopy getting thicker every day with new baby leaves, and birdsong filling the air with joy. Forest has something to offer to anyone, any time of the year. Forest bathing is the simple method of being calm and quiet amongst the trees, observing nature around you whilst breathing deeply, taking in the surroundings with all your senses, paying attention to minor details, to how it makes you feel, to what thoughts and feelings arise from the experience. It's a beautiful way to slow down, and especially now that the nature is becoming lovelier each day, this is the most perfect simple activity to add to your routine in the mornings, evenings, weekends, or whenever you have time. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next week.